Hey, what's up, Exit the Matrix family? Bob here. Hey guys, thanks for joining me on this morning talk. I hope you're having a great day when you get a chance to check this out. So, first off, I wanted to just say some good news, folks. And I'm a little surprised, but I'm a little cautious at the same time. I don't know what happened. Okay, about 2 weeks ago on my Exit the Matrix Facebook page, I was looking at my standing, as far as like community standards and, all the stuff that they hit your page or your profile with, fact checks, this and that, false information. And they always hound my page. They always try to keep me under limitation. Well, 2 weeks ago, all of a sudden one day I got up and it said that my page was fully limited, that I would get no extra reach except for only my followers, and that they were threatening to stop my monetization and everything on Facebook. And for those of you that haven't heard of Facebook monetization, they've been kind of, in a way, beta testing it for the most part. They've always monetized like the videos and stuff, but like actual just like postings. And for some reason, they picked my page to, as one of the beta tests. And I was always surprised by that because, holy smokes, like they just always limit my page and mess with my page 24/7, but somehow my page has survived where all these others have been, dismissed. Well, I figured, they're going to ratchet this up, so that's probably it. I need to put all my focus in YouTube and other places, and well, then the next day it dropped from red to yellow and said that my page was just back to where it was, just partial limitation, and that I was allowed growth at risk, and then I was back to monetization. Well, all of a sudden yesterday I get up and a green check mark. I go and look, all the bullshit they've hit my page for, all wiped out completely. No community standards hits, no fact checks, no false information or partial information things. Now, does that mean that they're not holding it in some database still? Yes, I'm sure they are. But as far as on the surface, it all went away and back to full monetization and reach. However, I have noticed that my posts are still not getting the reach that they should be getting with no limitation, but reach has gone up and everything. So I don't know what's going on, folks, but it's interesting to know that about 2 weeks ago I was interfacing in with the quantum field. I have been beta testing, you could call it in a way, my own research on how to directly affect the quantum field. And I used to believe that you had to ask for the universe to help you. You had to pray for it. Well, I started changing it and becoming into my power and realizing that we are fractals of God, so we have dominion over the quantum field. So I've been demanding that the quantum field work with me. And one thing I curiously put was that I needed somebody on the inside of Facebook that would be a secret admirer of my page and my work, and that they would get a chance to go in and wipe out all of the hits against my page to clear its standing and to give it full monetization. And like I've said before, folks, there's a waiting period on manifestation in this realm. They say it's typically a week to 2 weeks, and that's if you hold the belief and you hold the understanding that it will happen. Then the quantum field, it takes a little time for everything to line up. May not always be the way you think it will, but it will eventually answer your command. And amazingly, look at what's happened. So I don't know. Now, are they just really messing with me and I'm just being a little delusional? Possibly. But it'd be interesting kind of going forward to monitor it and see what happens. So anyways, guys, just that was a little side note. That's good, though. That helps me reach more people, which can help me grow YouTube quicker. And it'll help give me the launch pad I need to start building Rumble and some other platforms. So if you're not on Facebook with me, you need to go over there and join. Even if you hardly use Facebook anymore, I post a lot of stuff there. So it's good to at least keep tabs. So anyways, guys, I wanted to talk about one subject, but with two different kind of items that I'm going to build the subject off of. And this is going to be a different take than you've ever heard of the one. And that is the Tower of Babel, however you want to say it. And the other one's Pandora's box. So you would say, well, how are these two like even connected? One's a Greek, mythological thing, and the other one is an Old Testament biblical thing. Well, I did a talk recently with Forbidden Knowledge News. If you haven't seen that, I put some links on Facebook to that. It was a great interview, and there's something I talked about was the Tower of Babel. Now, folks, we've been told the biblical narrative, the Old Testament God narrative of the Tower of Babel is that humanity under the leadership of Nimrod had become so corrupt and evil that they wanted to challenge God. That they wanted to build this tower to the heavens to challenge God, to essentially overthrow God's rule. Now, Christians and Judeans have always fallen in line with this story, believing that, yes, us evil humans, we were all of one mind and one language and one determination to overcome God. And then, so God was rightful to come destroy the tower. And then to disperse people around the world and to force us to come up with new languages and cultures and such. Now, humanity is always fallen for the BS in the Old Testament. And here's why, folks, because they're not reading it from the right lens. And I've said this many times. The Old Testament is about the Anuna gods, the Anunnaki, the Watchers, the shining ones, the powerful ones, the Elohim, plural, Elohim, the gods. It has never been about a singular God. Judaism has never been about one God, folks. You can go look up any Old Testament, Hebrew scholar. And a lot of times you got to look at the secular ones, folks, because if you look at the ones that are from churches and backed by churches and church colleges and universities and stuff, you could call them the Jesuit schools. They're going to always slant these teachings in their favor because religion is part of the control matrix. Now, the seculars, and I'm not saying the seculars are fantastic, because they're idiots if they don't believe that there's a creator of all, that this is a design creation. It's obvious it is. But they'll look at these ancient texts with a different lens than somebody that's indoctrinated will. And they all say that the Judeans, that the Hebrew Bible is about different gods, not one singular God, folks. All these titles are of different gods. The Lord of Hosts, El Elyon, Yahweh, Jehovah. I mean, Marduk is in there. Enki and Enlil are in there. Inanna is in there as Ishtar. Utu Shamash is in there. And then you have in the Quran is Nanar Sin. That's who Allah is. They're all Anunnaki, folks. Okay? So look at it this way. The Tower of Babel. Who were humanity trying to overthrow? Who were their oppressors? See, you were taught to believe that humanity's the evil one and that this God Yahweh is the good guy. Even though he's called the Lord of Hosts. Lord of Hosts, folks, means Lord of Armies, Lord of War. What kind of loving God is a Lord of War? Do you not get this? It's in your face. It's in your face. So, this God Yahweh felt threatened by man. Well, is this a God that is omnipotent? What is a tower going to do to threaten God? A tower built to the heavens to reach God. Think about the ridiculousness of this, folks. And it's as simple as this, folks. If you read the Hindu Vedic text, the Mahabharata, it explains how the gods ruled over the earth from their flying cities, their flying ships, called the Vimanas. Now think about this, folks. They were tyrannical. It says in the Atrahasis, in the other texts, how they hybridized the human species to replace the work of the gods. They created us as a slave race, folks. Okay? That's what Adam and Eve were meant to be, a slave race. To work for them. To do the labor. So, why would we try to, as one people, work together to try to overthrow them? That's why they were building the tower, folks. It was to try to reach their ships. They felt if they, in number, they could overthrow them. Think of the movie Ants, the grasshoppers, right? How they lorded over the ants. And they have to keep them in the fear matrix and they use the ants to collect the food for them. They use the ants' energy and labor. But if the ants just stood against them, they can overthrow the grasshoppers. Even though the grasshoppers can fly, the ants can't, except for maybe the queen ant. But eventually they land, right? And the ants can swarm the grasshoppers and overcome them. Think about this, folks. There's a lot of encoded messages in the movies. So they were building the tower to try to overthrow these Anunnaki, to reach their ships. And when Enlil, who is Yahweh, seen this, he became infuriated. Who are these puny humans that we hybridize coming at us, trying to overthrow our rule? Look at them. They're trying to build a tower to us, to reach us, to get us. Now, some people say that the Tower of Babel was actually a type of Stargate. And that could be. And there's some Greek historians that did research into this, and they said that the god Marduk dwelt in the top room of the Tower of Babel. That there was a portal there, that he accessed the world he came from with this one. So that could be too. There's a lot of interesting things, but think about the simple symbolism, folks. Mankind was all within one mind, thinking together, working together to overthrow the gods, not God, because it was never about one God in the Old Testament. Yahweh had a consort named Asherah. He had which I believe was Damkina in the Sumerian. He had sons and daughters. One of his sons was Ninurta. Another was Nergal. Gabriel and Michael. Yes, the archangels. Those were his sons. Ninurta, I've come to believe that Ninurta was more than likely Gabriel. Now, in the Sumerian version of the Tower of Babel, when Enlil seen that humanity wanted to challenge the gods, he sent his son Ninurta with his Vimana to destroy the tower. Gabriel to destroy the tower. Folks, the archangels are not your friends. I'm not saying all the Anunnaki are evil. Some are working for humanity and some are working against us. They're like us. We're like them. Don't you get it? They're in the world of duality. When they're in this realm, they're in duality just like we are. They have the propensity to do great good or great evil or be more neutral. Walk the middle path. So you're starting to see where I'm getting at with all this, folks. You've been lied to your whole life. See, if you read the Old Testament, there's a lot of gems. There's a lot of true information there that directly ties in with these other ancient texts in cuneiform. They had to separate us, folks. They didn't want us working together. Don't you see the Tower of Babel was the first instance where they realized they had to divide us to keep control on us. We had become too numerous and too powerful, and we were thinking and working together in harmony. They could not have that. See, we all come from the same realm, folks, and we are brothers and sisters in that realm. But we get divided when we come here. We get put at each other's throats. They understood this was a way to manipulate us. Now you're going to say, what does Pandora's box have to do with any of this? Well, folks, when I say Pandora's box, I'm talking about the internet. See, originally the internet was supposed to be designed to help them build a control matrix over us. A matrix within a matrix is what they plan to do with the metaverse and the internet of everything. However, the one thing that they messed up on with the internet, and now they're trying to take control over the internet again, is that it allowed us to interface with each other again, to reconnect all of us together around the planet. It doesn't matter if you're from Pakistan or from England or the United States or from Kenya or from China. We all can connect now. And yes, governments try their hardest, but people get around it. See, we all know deep down that we're one. And those of us that are waking up realize who the real enemy is. It's not us. It's not each other. It's them. It's the world controllers. It's these principalities behind the scenes. Well, when they brought the internet to the populations, to the public, it opened Pandora's box. Now, all those centuries of us being separated into different languages and cultures, we're now able to reconnect like we did at the time of the Tower of Babel, folks. And as we continue to trade information, to learn, see, this is why all these ancient tablets and all this stuff is being reconnected with us. This information, it's because now with the internet, it's all out there. You can access it all. It's essentially, remember how I've always said this world is a copy of the higher dimensions. Well, the Akashic records that's the database of the universe. It's in a higher dimension. It records everything. Well, the internet is our way in this realm of trying to build the Akashic records. And now we're starting to get, with this phones in our hands, we have computers now that directly allow us to connect into this database, this Akashic records that humanity has built on Earth. As above, so below, folks. It's always ring true. But it's also allowing us to trade ideas, to gain access to all this lost knowledge and wisdom and lost texts. There's no excuse for you to be ignorant anymore, folks. See, I've never wanted you to I don't expect you to believe everything I believe. I don't expect you to, to follow all my theories as absolute truth, folks, because I'm just a regular guy that just research. I research, that's it. And I think, and I contemplate. And I just happen to see the puzzle pieces start working their way in front of my vision. I start connecting the dots. Anybody can do this. I'm not a professor. I'm not a linguist or an archaeologist or an expert. I didn't go to MIT or any... Folks, I'm just a simple, regular dude. But I just have a passion. And I take time to research. That's it. You can do it. That's all I want you to do. Do the same. Find this information for yourself. Go down the rabbit holes I give you. You may come back thinking, with similar theories I have, or they may be different. But we can bounce those ideas off each other. See, folks, I never pigeonhole myself into one way of thinking. I'm always open to new interpretations and new information. You should be too. But they gave us Pandora's box. We opened it. And now their greatest fears, like in the far past, are coming to realization. We are all connecting and seeing through their bullshit and their lies and seeing that their religions are false. We're seeing that their structures, their systems are false. that they steal our wealth and our energy. We're seeing what they are. Psychopaths, criminals, puppets. So what are they going to try to do now, folks? Well, right now you're seeing the ratchets of free speech. You're seeing they're ratcheting down on censorship. And this is why, folks, they're trying to put the lid back on the box. But the problem is, folks, is humanity figures out ways around their deception and their controls. We always have. We're like the son or the daughter that rebels against the parent no matter what they try to tell them to do. We're going to figure out a way to get around their dictates. Whenever you tell humanity not to do something, we do it. And I'm not saying that's always a good thing in humanity. It's that we are curious, folks. Because you know why, folks? Ye are gods. You are fractals of God in a human avatar. You're way more immense than this body. You're way more powerful than this body. And so, of course, you're curious. When you're stuck in this body and you start getting the passion to figure things out, your sixth sense starts sharpening. Your mind starts reaching outside of the body. Your spirit starts reaching outside of the body and grasping. And they're trying to limit that because they're afraid of us, folks. Because they're liars and deceivers. They've always been. And they know that the Great Awakening is happening. This is not a political Great Awakening, folks. This is the awakening of the Spirit within us all, of the Christ consciousness. The internet, just like anything, can be a double-edged sword. They meant to use the blade against us, but now the blade's coming back on them. And who knows what they're going to try. They may try to crash the internet, shut it down. Who knows? They're going to get desperate, folks. They're desperate. Look at what they're doing right now. But the way we win all this, folks, is love. Love one another. Find the common ground. Connect with each other. Don't hate the other side. Try to have some compassion. Have some understanding about their viewpoints and why they see things the way they do. And don't come at them like, well, you're dumb, you're stupid, your ideas don't work, this and that. Folks, look for the things that we can work together on and start from there. Start from the middle and work out, okay? I've been getting hammered. People saying, oh, what you're talking about, this middle path. It just means you're a fence sitter. It says in the Bible that a fence sitter is worse than somebody that's evil or good because you don't make a decision. You just sit in the middle. Yes, folks, I've told you what religion is. Why do you think they tell you that? They want you divided. Don't you get it? I've tried to tell you all this. Why do they tell you you're a sheep? Because they see you as an animal that needs to be shepherded by them. Oh, by the character that they created, right? I've already made the distinction, folks. For you, those of you that say that I'm against Christ or something, or no, folks. I've already told you the distinction between Yeshua and Jesus Christ, okay? I've already told you the differences. So if you're going to come at me with all that, at least listen to what I've said. Don't just jump to your default attacks based on your propaganda and your brainwashing that you've been under your whole life, where you literally believe one book is the ultimate truth. I mean, I get people coming at me left and right about with all of this scripture left and right. Well, Isaiah this and Colossians this and John this. Folks, that's written by man. Under the eye, the watchful eye of the powers that be. You could call it Constantine's Bible if you'd like. That might upset you, but, well, why do you think all of these rulers have always had their hand in the Bible, like the good old Masonic King James and his buddy Sir Francis Bacon? who was the editor of the King James Version. Who do you think started the Council of Nicaea? That was Constantine, the Roman emperor. Folks, you've all been tricked. Don't you get it? Religion's one of the tricks in their bag of tricks. See, they would have never told you the truth. Do you think that they would put the truth in a book, the full truth, and give it to humanity? Absolutely not. And for all those that romance about how great Christianity's been for the world, I would point to the genocides under the banner of Christianity and Judaism and Islam. The Abrahamic faiths have murdered more people on this planet than any other religion or structure. Billions, I would say, if you took it back since the times of this fantastic Old Testament Lord of hosts, Lord of armies. So let's start waking up, folks. I know this pisses a lot of you off, and that's fine. See, I don't have a problem with this because I'm standing in the truth. Because those of you that sit there and just throw scripture at me, you're basing it all on one book. But yet none of you have actually read the Atrahasis or any of the ancient texts. Because you know you know deep in the back of your mind, you know it'll start making you question. And then you start worrying about your faith. And if I start questioning my faith in this book, oh my God, I'm going to go to heaven. I'm not going to go to heaven, I'm going to go to hell. Once again, folks, a divisive tactic used to control and manipulate you. Hell is not in the Bible. Just like I mentioned, the flyaway theory called rapture is not in the Bible. See, they've got you indoctrinated into things that aren't even in your book. See, because they had to tighten the controls. So they just, through their leaders, their preachers and pastors, through their World Council of Churches, they give out the dictates to put extra controls on you. They don't want you reading these ancient texts, folks, because then you realize, wow, these texts are thousands of years older than this book I have in my hand. And, oh, wow, the same stories. Oh, wait a second here. Where's Yahweh in all these ancient tablets? Oh, he's just one of the Elohim. He's just one of the Anuna. He's not the sole powerful creator of all. He's this petty god of war. He's the god of the air. He was even afraid of Adam and Eve, had to toss them out of the garden. They were so dangerous to him. Oh, this tower they built to reach him and his army, or his Anuna up in their ships or whatever. Oh my God, they were threatening them. How dare them come against God or the gods, right? I don't know, folks. I hope I've left you some gems here to think about. This is the type of stuff we got to start thinking about, folks. See, I mentioned this before. You were never born free. You've always been born into slavery in this realm. See, it's not your spirit, folks, that's under slavery. It's the body. It's the avatar. They see your avatar as it's in this realm. They feel like this is their realm. So when you're using that avatar, you're under their dictates, you're in their realm, and that's their property. Now, they would love nothing more than to be able to control the spirit and to abduct the spirit. However, our spirits reside on multiple dimensions, folks, and they're too powerful for them to take control of. I know you people talk about, well, what about possession and all this? Dude, that's your avatar, folks. You're just allowing another entity or energy into your avatar, and it's going to try to grasp and grab control of that avatar. That has nothing to do with your spirit. They can't overcome your spirit, okay? So, anyways, folks, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Just continue to support me wherever, however you can, even if that's just liking videos and commenting and sharing. If that's just you joining me on the other platforms. But I would really love to hear from you guys. I'd like to hear your thoughts. I do take the time, folks, on all of my platforms to try to answer people most of the time. Unless people are just ad hom attacking me and wanting to debate me on scripture. Folks, I'm not going to debate you on scripture, okay? I read the Bible many times, front to back to front. I'm not going to debate you on it, okay? Because I know what it is. You're debating me with the words of control that you're under. Don't you get it? And I'm not saying the Bible's all bad or all good. It's a bit of both. It's a double-edged sword, just like the internet, okay? There's some good information and good teachings, but it's poisoned with control and manipulation also. And the Old Testament is not about one singular God. It never was. If you want to know the truth, the closest ancient religion that was closer to monotheism was Zoroastrianism. But even that was a duality religion because it was about the two gods. The good God of Ahura Mazda, the God of fire and light, and the evil God of darkness. What was his name? Shoot. Sorry, it's just eluding me right now, folks. Anyways, there's like a satanic, God also. So even Zoroastrianism is more of a duality like religion. But it's closer to monotheism than Judaism or Christianity because they're based off of these gods of the Old Testament, folks, the Anuna. So, hey guys, I love you. I appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you later.